Hi guys, Balls96 here, but the O is a 0 and we are halfway through the transfer window. So in today's video, I am taking a look at each club signing so far and deciding who has been the best one yet. And then come the end of the season, I'll take another look back and we will see how right I was with the coming impending signings yet to come. So please do stick around to find out who I pick. Arsenal, Declan Rice. Starting off with the biggest transfer in the Premier League so far. This can't be ignored, this one. I do think, as most people will, that it is an excessive fee paid for him and he isn't worth that much. But what a major signing it is. He is set to be a major part of this team for many seasons to come, as long as it all goes to plan. I do also think Timber will be class for them and could prove to be even more important if he lives up to his potential. But for now, with the importance of this signing and the fee, I'm going for Rice. Aston Villa, Youri Tielemans. I think this one has been weirdly underplayed, and perhaps it is down to his not so great last season for Leicester. But this is Youri Tielemans. The man has been rumoured with every big club in the world at some point in his career, and he is still a top class midfielder who is going to add so much to this team, and he's still so young. Pau Torres is obviously the big money signing, and it was close between the two for me, but Villa's defence last season was already very solid. Torres will add a lot to the team and could improve that further, but I just think Tielemans brings more to the squad of what they needed, and I think he will have a big role in the team. Bournemouth, Hamid Junior Traore. Quite an easy one for Bournemouth this. Traore was a bright spark for them during his loan spell and displayed a real talent, which is what they need. Of their other two signings so far, one has been sent back out on loan and one is Justin Kluivert, who I do think could do quite well for them, but there is a bit more of an uncertainty around him. Traore proved himself last season and it was a very good investment that they have made to bring him in permanently. Brentford, Kevin Schade. Another loan made permanent now for a similar amount of money. I've picked Schade as my best transfer for Brentford so far this window. I think Nathan Collins is an excellent pickup, and in the long term he will be a vital part of the team, but they do already have a pretty solid defence, and currently their ageing centre-backs still have a lot about them. Mark Flecken could prove to be their best transfer depending on whether David Raya leaves, but at this moment in time it is Schade. At 21 years of age, he looks to be a real talent, blistering pace and a threat in the final third. Brentford need to ensure they have numbers in those attacking positions, considering Ivan Toney's ban, and Schade will be a big part in covering his absence. They need to bring in a striker, but for now, he is their best signing. Brighton, João Pedro. Brighton have made a few transfers so far, and I think they will make a couple more before the window's over, but for now, their best signing is Pedro for me. Dahoud could prove me wrong, but the injury history is of some concern, so we will see if his fitness holds up or not. Pedro's signing gives me Richarlison to Everton sort of vibes when they signed him back in 2018, and he proved to be a star player before his transfer to Spurs for a profit of over £20 million. So if Brighton can get similar out of this transfer, then it will be a definite success. A good young player with bags of potential. Brighton will be hoping for big things from him. Burnley, Jordan Bayer. Now, Jordan Bayer was one of the highest performing players during his loan spell with Burnley last season, so to have snapped him up for less than £15 million does seem to be quite a deal. With the signings of Bayer and O'Shea, it does appear that company is trying to ensure defensive solidity next season, which is going to be vital to this Burnley squad. And if they can learn a thing or two from him, Burnley's defence is going to be seriously difficult to beat. On top of that, at only 23 years of age, he has years in the bank and could prove to be a major player for years to come. Chelsea, Christopher Nkunku. Chelsea's mass exodus of players continues continues this window, but today we are looking at incomings, and Nkunku is definitely the standout on that front. One of the most sought after attacking talents over the past couple of seasons, Chelsea will be hoping for big things from their new signing, and I for one am very interested to see how he does. His speed and dribbling capabilities are fantastic, and his eye for goal will be vital for a Chelsea team who were outscored by 14 teams last season in the league, tying with Nottingham Forest for the 5th worst goal record last season. And Nkunku is going to have to hit the ground running if he is to be a success, and only time will tell, but as it stands, he is their best signing. Crystal Palace, Jefferson Lerma. Palace have only signed the one player so far, so I don't really have much choice here, do I? But I do think Lerma is a fantastic signing. I've always admired Lerma since his Levante days, and last season he proved to be such a major part of a massively overachieving Bournemouth side. Combative and good on the ball with a goal-scoring prowess from the midfield. He's an excellent addition to this squad, and I think he will surprise a lot of people who maybe aren't as aware of his talents. I would say that Palace do need to get some more heads in the door though, so hopefully by the end of this window, Lerma will have some more competition when it comes to asking who their best transfer is this summer. Everton, Ashley Young. Yet again, there isn't a lot else for me to choose from, but this time I can't really sing as many praises for Ashley Young. A fantastic player in his day, and he can still do a job for sure, but a 38-year-old fullback on a free transfer being your only signing halfway into the window after a season in which you escaped relegation on their last day is comical. Everton, for your own sake, please sort it out, will you? If you don't, it is going to be another season fighting relegation, and a club of your size should not be anywhere near that, particularly not for so many seasons on the bounce. Fulham? No one. Not a lot for me to say here because Fulham have signed absolutely no one so far this season. They can't be standing still if they are to try and build on or at least replicate the season that they have just had, particularly if Mitrovic leaves and the heavily linked Palhinha gets a transfer somewhere else. Make some signings, Fulham, and quick. Liverpool, Alexis McAllister. This is a tough one to call between McAllister and Szoboszlai. Both wonderful players who I trust will be major signings for Liverpool this season. And Szoboszlai in the long run could potentially prove to be the better signing. But right now, I'm saying McAllister. I had been saying for months before there were ever rumours that we should sign him. Then he went on to win the World Cup, and here he is, wearing the famous red. Fantastic player, and he should add a lot to a midfield which was lacking energy, fluidity and goals last season. Luton Town, Tahith Chong, a very recent signing here and Luton's best one so far. Each of their 3 additions have come from the Championship, and Chong is the one I think has the best chance of being a success. He has a tenacity about his game which I really like, and his ability to get on the ball will be very important for this team. Hopefully he continues his development and proves his potential, because he could be a real solid acquisition. Manchester City, Mateo Kovacic, another team who aren't exactly leaving me with many options, but to be fair, they don't exactly need to sign too many players, do they? Kovacic is a brilliant player who I think will fit this team so well, to be honest with you. Aggressive and combative is how I would describe Kovacic's playing style, and that is something that City should get a lot of joy from to supplement all those players who do the little touches and delicate passes. That isn't to say Kovacic is not capable of those things. He most definitely is, but I think it will be that style of play which will benefit them the most. Manchester United, Mason Mount. It is very feasible that Onana could be announced by the time I get this video out, and if that is the case, this is my disclaimer on that. But for now, Mason Mount is the only transfer they have made. I've never understood why so many people don't rate him. Mount is a brilliant player and is still only 24 years of age. Even last season, where he wasn't getting played as much and he probably had his weakest season for Chelsea so far, he still managed 5 goal contributions from 24 games, which is better than a goal contribution every 5 games. Considering how poor Chelsea were in front of goal, that is pretty decent for a central midfielder. I think he'll do well for United. Newcastle United Sandro Tonali. This signing still impresses me a couple of weeks later. Tonali is one of the better defensive midfielders in Europe, and he has gone from AC Milan in his home country to Newcastle United. I know they have all the money in the world, but that is a massive statement signing. I think their midfield is going to be frightening for a lot of teams next season, and this will free up Bruno Gomes for a bit more of a box-to-box role than he was getting. Jeez, Newcastle are going to be pretty good next season, eh? Nottingham Forest, Chris Wood. Nottingham Forest transfer window so far has been a stark contrast from last season, with them having made only one signing, and that is only because they were obligated to after his loan spell at the end of last season. Forest need to continue to offload some of the deadwood from last season, but they do still need to bring in a couple of players to improve on this team. Otherwise, I do worry for them. Chris Wood is their best and only signing so far, and if he gets over his injury from last season well enough, he could very well be an important player for them. He has proven in the past that he can score some important goals, and if he can recapture some of that goal scoring form, then he could be vital to their campaign this season. Sheffield United, Anis Slimani. Sheffield United have only made 2 signings so far, and I can't really be picking the loan transfer out of those 2, so I've gone for Anis Slimani. I'll be honest, I know a lot more about Yasser Larouci than I do Slimani. Larouci was in the Liverpool Academy and a lot was expected of him. He's a good fullback, and having just played most games in Liga last season, he could prove to be a good pickup. Slimani has been plying his trade for Brøndby over the past few seasons and has played most games for them during that time. A very experienced player in international football, only 22 years of age still, he could do well for the team. I'll be interested to see more of him. Spurs, James Maddison. I do think the permanent signing of Kulusevski is a very good one, and Vicario could prove to be a surprise hit to a lot of fans who won't know him, but I've gone for the major one. James Maddison. What a player he is, and a fantastic signing which I was calling for them to make. He wasn't cheap, but I think it was a good price considering what City paid for a similar player in Jack Grealish not that long ago. Maddison will be a star for them, I'm sure, and if Kane stays, he will provide a lot to this team with both goals and assists. West Ham United, no one. The second team in this list who so far have not made a single signing. Considering how much of a disappointment the league campaign was last season for them, you would have thought they'd have made a couple of signings at least, but we're still waiting for that first announcement. Maybe the sale of Declan Rice finally going through will enable them to splash the cash a bit and improve this team, because it definitely needs it. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Matheus Cunha. For the price, and considering he wasn't too amazing during his loan spell last season, I'm not sure this is the best of signings, but it is the best signing that Wolves have made so far. Cunha is a good player, and perhaps given some more time to develop within this league, we will start to see more of what he is capable of. He has never been one to score a load of goals, but if he can prove his talent, link up and hold up play for this team, he could be a good signing for them. I guess we'll have to wait and see how he does. There we are, guys. If you liked what you watched, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know down below what you thought of my picks, and as the weeks progress, let's see whether my picks were correct or not. Please do remember to check me out on some of my other socials as well, guys. I am on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok, all under the same handle, Bolts96, but the O is 0. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.